The Champions League quarterfinal is where the pretenders are stripped of their masks and the true kings are crowned. This year, the data tells a story that doesn't always match the headlines. While some giants look invincible, the underlying numbers suggest they're walking into a trap. Who is actually ready? Arsenal's top 5 Champions League stats so far. Goals conceded, 5, 0.5 average per match. Clean sheets, 6. Passing accuracy, 85.9%. Distance covered, 1,067.29 kilometers. Arsenal's campaign has been defined by defensive strangulation, boasting 6 clean sheets and conceding just half a goal per game. Mikel Arteta has successfully exported his Premier League control model to Europe. Their high number of balls recovered and massive distance covered highlight a team that defends as a collective unit, suffocating opponents before they even reach the final third. They aren't just winning games, they're de-risking them. However, with only 5 clear chances created despite high possession, the data suggests a side that might struggle if they fall behind and are forced to chase a game against elite low blocks. My opinion, Arsenal finally look like they belong at this level, but there's a fine line between control and caution. Their defensive metrics are world-class, yet in knockout football, you need a moment of individual magic when the system stalls. They're peaking defensively at the right time, but I still worry about their clinical edge in a high-pressure shootout. They are contenders, but only if they don't overthink the big moments. Question: does Arsenal's elite defense make them the favorites, or will their lack of a chaos factor be their downfall? Real Madrid's top 5 Champions League stats so far. Goals scored, 29, 2.42 average per match. Goalkeeper saves, 64. Tackles won, 113. Passes into attacking third, 574. Kylian Mbappé goals, 13. The stats for Real Madrid paint the picture of a team that thrives on the edge of knife. While they lead the tournament in goals scored, 29, they also rely heavily on individual brilliance to stay alive, evidenced by 64 goalkeeper saves, the second highest in the competition. This isn't a team that dominates through tactical possession. It's a team that survives pressure and then kills you in the transition. With the most passes into the attacking third and a clinical Mbappé, they're the ultimate moments team. They invite chaos because they know they'll win it. My opinion, Madrid are doing exactly what they always do, looking vulnerable on paper but winning on the pitch. Relying on 64 saves heading into a quarterfinal against Bayern is a massive warning sign, but you can't ignore the Mbappé factor. They aren't the most balanced team left, but they're the most dangerous. Form matters less to them than any other club. They simply find a way to win. Question: are Real Madrid's defensive gaps finally going to be exposed? Or is their Champions League DNA enough to ignore the stats? Bayern Munich's top 5 Champions League stats so far. Goals scored, 32, leading the competition. Possession percent, 58.5%. Michael Olise assists, 7. Harry Kane goals, 10. Aggregated score are 16-10-2 versus Atlanta. Bayern Munich are currently the most balanced offensive machine in Europe. Leading the competition with 32 goals, they don't just beat teams, they dismantle them, as seen in their 10-2 aggregate demolition of Atlanta. The synergy between Michael Olise, 7 assists, and Harry Kane, 10 goals, has given them a dual-threat dimension that is nearly impossible to track. They maintain high possession, 58.5%, but use it aggressively to create high-value chances rather than just cycling the ball. This is a team built to outscore any mistake they make at the back. My opinion, Bayern look terrifying. After years of tactical inconsistency, they finally have a settled front line that is putting up video game numbers. Winning 10-2 in the round of 16 sends a message to the entire bracket. If they keep this scoring rate up, nobody can stop them over 2 legs. They are my current favorites to lift the trophy because they don't just win, they destroy the opponent's morale. Question: is there any defense left in the competition that can actually stop the Kane and Olise partnership? FC Barcelona's top 5 Champions League stats so far. Possession percent, 60.8%. Pass accuracy, 88.5%. Goals scored, 30. Clean sheets, 0. Passes into key play area, 369. Barcelona are the purest nightmare and a neutral's dream. They boast the second highest possession, 60.8%, and a massive 30 goals scored, showing they can break down any block. However, the most glaring stat is 0 clean sheets. They're essentially playing basketball football. You score, then we score. Their high line is evidenced by 369 passes into the key play area, but their inability to shut the back door makes every game a high-stakes gamble. They control the ball, but they clearly do not control the space behind their defenders. My opinion, Barcelona are the biggest boom or bust team in the quarterfinals. You cannot win a Champions League with 0 clean sheets. Eventually, the math catches up to you. While their attacking fluidity is breathtaking, their defensive fragility against a team like Atletico or Bayern could result in a blowout. They are amazing to watch, but I don't see the defensive discipline required to go all the way this year. Question: can Barcelona's incredible attack compensate for a defense that literally cannot keep a clean sheet? Sporting CP's top 5 Champions League stats so far. Goals scored, 22. Dribbles completed, 185. Balls recovered, 389. Distance covered, 1,195.05 kilometers, tournament high. Big chances created, 7. Sporting CP are the marathon runners of the 2025-26 season. They lead the remaining teams in distance covered, nearly 1,200 kilometers, and balls recovered, 389, indicating a high-intensity, physical style of play that wears opponents down. They aren't just a dark horse playing defensive football. They have completed 185 dribbles, showing they have the individual flair to transition quickly from defense to attack. They survived an extra-time thriller in the round of 16, proving they have the fitness and mental fortitude for the deep waters of knockout football. My opinion, underestimate Sporting at your own peril. They're the most hard-working team left in the bracket, and that physical edge is a nightmare in a two-legged tie. They don't have the superstar names of Madrid or Bayern, but their collective metrics are elite. I think they're the most likely team to pull off a shock upset because they simply refuse to stop running. Question: are Sporting the Real deal, or will their high-intensity style lead to burnout against the elite clubs? Atletico Madrid's top 5 Champions League stats so far. Goals scored, 31. Balls recovered, 495, highest among QF teams. Distance covered, 1,438.22 kilometers. Clean sheets, 0. Goals conceded, 24. This isn't your older brothers Atletico Madrid. This Simeone masterclass has evolved into a high-scoring, high-chaos system. With 31 goals scored, they are outperforming almost everyone offensively. But they've also conceded 24, a shocking number for a team traditionally known for their bus parking. Their recovery stats, 495 balls recovered, are astronomical, showing they're playing a much higher, more aggressive press than in previous years. They're no longer trying to win 1-0. They're trying to outfight and outwork you over 90 minutes of pure intensity. My opinion, Atletico are currently the most exhausting team to play against. The stats show a team that has abandoned defensive caution for pure work rate. However, conceding 24 goals is a massive red flag. They are winning games through sheer willpower and volume attacks. But against a clinical side like Liverpool or Madrid, that defensive openness will be punished. They are a dangerous wildcard, but perhaps too unstable. Question: has Simeone traded his defensive soul for goals? Will that trade cost him a trophy? Paris Saint-Germain's top 5 Champions League stats so far. Possession percent, 63.5%, ranked first. Goals scored, 34. Balls recovered, Pacho 78. Top speed, Barcola 36.7 kilometers a system that uses possession as a defensive tool. If the opponent doesn't have the ball, they can't score. In my opinion, for the first time in years, PSG looks serious. The stats show they are dominating every phase of the game. They have the highest possession and the most goals, which is usually the formula for champions. However, the ghost of their past failures always lingers. On current form, they're the team to beat, but we won't know if they've truly changed until they face a deficit in the second half. Question: is this finally the year PSG's statistical dominance translates to a Champions League trophy? Liverpool's top 5 Champions League stats so far. Win rate, 70%. Average goals scored, 2.4 per match. Goals conceded away, 0.6 per match. Clean sheet percent, 50%. Second half goals, 65% goal goals. Liverpool are the ultimate second half team. The data shows they scored 65% of their goals after the 45 minutes, suggesting a team that possesses superior fitness and tactical depth. Their defensive record rate from home, 0.6 goals conceded, is particularly impressive, making them a nightmare to play in a two-legged format where one leg is off the goals. They don't need to dominate possession. They rely on 70% win rate built on efficiency and ability to punish tired legs. In my opinion, Liverpool are playing like a team that knows exactly how to navigate knockout football. They aren't chasing records or style points. They're chasing results. Their ability to shut teams down away from home makes them the most difficult team to knock out of this competition. They might not be as flashy as Bayern or PSG right now, but they are arguably the most professional side left. Question: is Liverpool's ability to win ugly more valuable in the quarterfinals than the high-scoring form of their rivals? Look at the numbers, look at the form, and tell me, who is your Final Four? Drop your semi-final predictions in the comments. I want to see who's brave enough to bet against the stats.